great to be with everybody else. My background, real quickly, is corporate America. I spent 20 years in corporate jobs, and at the end of 20 years, I found myself unemployed. And if you've ever found yourself unemployed, whether you quit or whether they quit on you, you find out they stopped paying you. It wasn't a very fun time in my life. I was at 44 years old. A lot of my friends, when that happened, said it was a midlife crisis. I said, no, it was a midlife review. I didn't want to go back and repeat something that I knew wouldn't work as I got older. So I was looking and ran across this great company. My role this morning is I'm not here to convince you to do anything you don't want to do. If you're a guest with us, I want to share with you information about one of the top growth companies in North America and let you see who we are and what we do and why you see so many people flocking to our company. If you see that that's a fit for you, we'd love to have you join us. So let me share my screen here and I'll get started with this overview and we'll be able to do that. Chris, do me a favor and tell me you can see my screen.
Clear, sir.
Okay, sounds good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, you've heard my story, and today, this is not about my opportunity. It's about your opportunity and your independence. So let me share with you information about this great company. Right now, we know the world is forever changed. People don't want the standard 9 to 5. In my training this afternoon, I'll show you why people are walking away from jobs, and I'll give you facts, not what Larry thinks, but I'll give you facts. But people want to work from anywhere. They don't want that typical old job that so many of us grew up on. They're doing a work from anywhere revolution. They want more income. They want more flexibility. They want more independence. And in these uncertain times, we believe it just makes sense to have a backup plan. When you look at my training this afternoon and realize that 54% of the public today in America are taking on side gigs to help supplement their income just to make ends meet, you'll see what I'm talking about. Here's the facts. Again, I'm only about facts. I'm not about what Larry thinks. According to the 2024 Market Watch survey, 48.6% of Americans consider themselves to be broke. And 66.2, 2/3 of the working public say they live paycheck to paycheck. My belief, if that's the facts, and as big as they are, the system that's giving people this result probably isn't working in the best way for all of us to really enjoy it. But if you want to do something for yourself, you got to have a good business plan, and it's got to have three things in place. It's got to have an opportunity, but it's got to be backed by a great company because there's a lot of opportunities out there. You've got to have outstanding products or services and opportunities for compensation. You've got to have a system, not an idea, not what Larry thinks, but a proven system that has produced results year over year over year. And you've got to have a community, which I love about LegalShield. Way more than the money is the people I've spent the last 28 years with. And that's a community of leaders, mentors, big thinkers, and true partners to show you the way. The gentleman you see on this screen is the founder of our company, Mr. Harlan Stonecipher. He was involved in a very serious head-on collision back in 1969. Actually, that's his car upside down that you're looking at. And he was sued by the person that hit him. Even though they got the ticket, he came back and sued him, claiming he was at fault. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, if somebody sues you and you don't go to court to defend your rights in the lawsuit, you can be found guilty by default, regardless of your innocence or guilt, and a judgment can be filed against you. He knew that. He hired an attorney. He went to court. He was found innocent like he knew he would be, but he spent his life savings on legal bills. So literally speaking, from an accident, a mission was born because his tragedy became his destiny. And we were established in 1972. So today, as you look at our company, we're 52 years old, going into 53 in August. We protect and empower millions of people across North America. And our vision is to provide equal access to justice while bringing solutions to two of the biggest problems that we're facing today. Now, we've been featured by all the top financial journals you could ever name or think of. Our home is headquartered in Ada, Oklahoma. The picture you see is our corporate headquarters. It kind of looks small there, but it's 177,000 square feet. It has hundreds and hundreds of employees. It's on an 87-acre campus. And again, facts, if you go to bbb.org, that's betterbusinessbureau.org, and you type in LegalShield, Ada, Oklahoma, you'll see that after 52 years and millions of customers, that we still enjoy an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. That speaks volumes. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is our first service, and that's called LegalShield. It's about having access to justice. It's about having access to top quality law firms all over the country. Now, you may be saying to yourself, like I did when I first looked at this, why would I need an attorney? I've never been a criminal. I've never been in trouble with the law. Why would I need that? My goal is to let you see why the wealthiest people in our country today keep attorneys on retainer. It's not because they're criminals. It's not because they're in trouble with the law. It's because our society has become so complex that wealthy people don't make many decisions without getting legal advice first. They spend big money to do that. Tonight, I'm going to show you where you can actually join millions of people, and instead of paying high hourly rates, you can pay a very low monthly subscription cost and have access to law firms that we are paying over $1 million a month to in our top firms. So here's what we do with our business. I'm going to show you what we call a preferred legal plan. The reason it's called preferred is because this is the one that the majority of the people buy. We do have two other plans. We have a basic legal plan and we have a premium legal plan. So depending on what coverage you're looking for, you're welcome to get back with the person who invited you and they can show you the other two plans. But we're going to go over the one that is the majority of the one purchased because it's our preferred legal plan. This plan right up front costs you $1.25 a day. Now, I don't know about you in Colorado. Yes, I do, because I lived there for years. In Colorado, you can't buy a bad cup of coffee for $1.25 a day. It's $37.95 a month. It covers you as a member, your spouse, and eligible dependent children. What do you get for your $1.25 a day? You get consultation with your law firm on an unlimited number of personal legal matters. How does that work? You'll have a mobile app. You tap the app. You can call directly into the law firm. They'll ask you for your name and phone number. And whatever you need help with, they will have an attorney that works in that area of law call you back within one business day, and you can talk for as long as you need to get your questions answered. Because we're not billing you, because LegalShield Corporate pays the law firms, because they're not billing you, their only goal is to serve you because they get paid based on the number of members they keep on the books. So the better job they do of serving you, the more money they make, the happier you are. At $1.25 a day, you'll never want to let this go. We'll also write letters and make phone calls on your behalf. Now, listen, we all get treated unfairly. I'm going to give you a couple of quick stories. One that's really small, trivial, right? I had a home in Phoenix, and the HOA, the Homeowners Association, wrote me a letter and said they saw weeds in my yard and they fined me $25. I called them and told them I had a yard maintenance crew and I didn't have weeds in my yard and I wasn't going to pay the $25 fine. They said if I didn't pay the fine, they would file a lien against my property. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to hire a lawyer at $400 an hour to fight a $25 problem. And you're not going to let $25 ruin your credit report. So what do? You pay the $25 fine and you have anger issues about it the rest of your life, unless you're a LegalShield member. I called my law firm, even though it was a $25 problem. I told them what the situation was. They had me send them the letter. They wrote a letter back on their letterhead and they said, Mr. Smith is disputing your claim. And if you can't provide photographs of the weeds that you saw or the names, addresses, and phone numbers of the witnesses who saw those weeds, you are to cease and desist immediately and zero the balance of Mr. Smith's account. What do you think happened to my $25 problem? Of course it went away. It never cost me more than my monthly subscription cost for this service. There was no other charge. Here's another example, kind of a middle-sized example. I took one of my suits to the cleaners. I use these cleaners all the time, never had a problem. They ruined one of my suits. I brought it back to them and told them they ruined it. All they could do was point to the sign. You've probably seen the sign in your dry cleaners that says they aren't responsible. So I said, are you sure this is how you want to handle this? I didn't argue. I don't have to anymore. So I called the law firm, told them what happened. They wrote a 2.5-page letter. And all of a sudden I get a check to pay for my suit. See, the deal is we all get treated unfairly. It doesn't mean people are good or bad or right or wrong or indifferent, but you need to make sure that you have equal justice under the law. And that's what we do. Let me give you something a little more traumatic. I took a ring to a jeweler. They said they would fix it for me. When I went to pick it up, they had ruined it. They didn't fix it. They ruined it. And guess what? As soon as that happened, I called the law firm. Why? Because I could. When I called the law firm, I talked to an attorney for 45 minutes. She said, give me the guy's name and phone number. Let me call him. She made a phone call to the jeweler. Now, I don't know what she said to him, but I still dream about it from time to time, because as soon as she got off the phone with him, she called me, faxed me a release of liability. I signed it, went back to the jewelry store. And the same day that she made the phone call to that jeweler, the same jeweler that told me he wasn't going to do anything about it, gave me a check for $2,152.32 to replace the ring. And I realized that one issue paid for about 7 years of my membership cost. And that's when I became a marketing associate. That was the first time I used the plan. That's when I became a marketing associate, because at first I just bought the service because it made sense to me. But then when that happened, I said, everybody needs this product. And I became a marketing associate with the company. And that's when I started building the business. Probably the biggest single issue is I got a letter from the IRS saying that they felt like I owed them more money. I called the law firm. Of course, I've got a business plan as well as a personal plan. So I had access to the tax attorney for my business. The tax attorney and I consulted. He had me sign a power of attorney. And in my specific situation, he went to the audit without me. I didn't have to go. Now, remember, the IRS felt like I owed him money. So they did a 3-year tax audit. When he came back, he said, you're not going to get a check, but you're not going to have to pay any money. But I was able to negotiate a 3-year tax credit. The next 3 years, I didn't have to pay any taxes. It's even on my Social Security statement, 0 taxes for 3 years in a row. And that saved me $87,600. Listen, I could tell you these kind of stories all day long. In reality, in the time I've owned this membership, we've gotten back or saved in excess of $350,000 because of the use of this service by paying $1.25 a day. It's literally the greatest asset I own. I've got a lot of assets, but it's the greatest asset I own. So the next time somebody treats you unfairly, don't get mad, don't get even, just smile and say, are you sure this is how you want to handle it? Let your law firm write a letter or make a phone call on your behalf. You might be surprised at what happens with the outcome. We all sign contracts and documents. If you ask a wealthy person to sign a contract, who do they always have look at theirs first? Their lawyer. Do you do that? Why not? Only one reason, because you don't know who to call and you know how much it's going to cost. It's going to cost a lot of money. With LegalShield, with your $1.25 a day, we'll review an unlimited number of personal legal documents up to 25 pages each. By the way, I had one contract that they reviewed, and it wasn't what was in the contract. It's what the third party left out of the contract. They made them put it back in, saved me $19,600 on one contract. Don't ever sign a contract without getting your law firm review it first. If you're buying a new home, a primary residence, all that big stack of documents, we're going to give you a residential loan document review to make sure you know what you're signing up for when you sign those documents. Also, if you're leasing, we'll give you residential tenant lease advice, review your documents, and do any negotiations with the landlord as well. Hang on a second. I just cut my video off. Sorry about that. Okay. Will preparation. This is the reason I bought the membership. I didn't have a last will and testament, and I had a family. So when was the last time you updated yours, and when would be a good time to do that? Before you die, right? Well, when you think about calling some law firm, asking what it will cost to do what we do would cost you $1,500 to $2,000. And that's what they would charge you. Here, it's part of your $1.25 a day, and we'll even update it every year that your membership stays in force. We'll prepare that last will and testament, the living will, the healthcare power of attorney, the durable power of attorney, and we'll update it every year to make sure your family is always protected. If you don't have this in place, get the membership and do this. This is the reason I bought it, because I want to make sure my family was protected. If you get traffic tickets, if you're a little heavy on the gas pedal, right? We do 2 covered violations per year per person in your family. And if you need to go to traffic court, it's just a flat fee of $79. We have property damage with assistance to collect claims of $5,000 or less and unlimited e-signatures. We also give you coverage where you don't pay the legal fees In the event you have an uncontested name change, uncontested minor child adoption, prenuptial or postnuptial preparation, uncontested civil annulment or separation, or uncontested divorce, you'd pay court costs, filing fees, stuff like that, like you would with any attorney, but you won't have to pay the attorney's fees. Also, in the event you or your spouse are sued in a covered civil suit, we give you a scheduled set of hours that grow every year for the first 5 years to make sure that we have an attorney help prepare that case for you and go to court and defend you as well. If you get a letter from the IRS for your W-2 income, we'll give you IRS audit assistance with consultation, audit representation, and pretrial negotiation on your personal tax return. Again, we have business plans. So if you have a business, talk to the person who invited you about getting a business plan. Probably one of the greatest things we have is 24/7 emergency access. So if your rights are being denied or threatened for covered emergencies, we're available to you 24/7. If you look at the mobile app picture there, you'll see call emergency line. It could be 3 o'clock in the morning. If you're being questioned, detained, or arrested by law enforcement, listen, as long as you're doing the right thing. If you're driving under the influence or drugs or anything else, we're not going to do that. But if you get pulled over and you're questioned, especially if you've got teenage drivers that might be doing that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll wake attorneys up at 3 o'clock in the morning to help you with that, as well as if you're injured in an accident or there's a warrant out for your arrest, or if child support is coming after your kids, no matter what time of day or night. Now, everything that we also online notarization of up to 5 per membership year, anything that goes beyond the limits of the coverage I've explained, like maybe a DUI. You know, you could have 2 drinks, I think, today and probably get a DUI. You could be at a wedding, have 2 glasses of champagne, and you could probably register DUI. So if something like that were to happen to you, we won't cover it under the $20.25 a day, but we will offer you a 25% discount off our normal hourly rates. We'll tell you what those are. You're welcome to shop around. If we're the best thing for you, then we want you to use it. And then because of the millions of members we have hundreds of companies that give us discounts. We call them member perks, where you can actually save more money per month than what you actually spend on your membership if you take advantage of those discounts. So right now, I want to go out to one of my great friends doing an amazing job here with LegalShield, Miss Carmen Ball, and let Carmen tell a legal story about her plan. Carmen, out to you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, my story is about my daughter, actually. Her and her husband, for their anniversary, had rented or reserved a townhome on over a river, and they changed their mind. They were supposed to be able to get their money back. Of course, they couldn't get a hold of anybody through email, text, calls, nothing. So they called the law firm. The law firm gets involved, sends them a letter, and lo and behold, they get their money back and an apology that they got caught up in the emails. And so they got their money back, an apology letter, and a discount for when they come back.
That's great. You know, Mike Turpin, who's one of our provider law firms right there in Colorado. Mike Turpin is the managing partner, the senior partner of the law firm. Mike is the former attorney general of the state of Oklahoma, and he's the senior partner of the law firm right there in the Denver area. And it's so funny because he says, you know, when we bring on the heat, they have a tendency to see the light. I kind of like the way Mike Turpin always says that. Okay, let's jump back into the presentation here so we can move on with our next service, and that's called ID Shield. We know that identity theft has been a top consumer complaint literally for 2 decades. There's a lot of companies that will monitor your credit report and stuff. That's great, right? But we go way beyond that. We're going to monitor everything that matters. You'll have another mobile app. You'll be able to see your credit score when you log in. We're going to do credit bureau monitoring like everybody else does, but we're also going to do monitoring looking for any impact on your social security number, your passport, your driver's license, your public and court record monitoring, email, phone number, date of birth, medical ID, username and password, internet, dark web, and social media accounts. And if we see any suspicious activity, we will reach out to you and let you know, and you can let us know if you need help, and that's when we're there really to help you. So what we do here, sorry about that, what we do here is We're going to do identity consultation services where we give you consultation on identity related issues. And in the event of an identity theft emergency, we also have 24/7, 365 live support when you need it the most. We also going to offer full service restoration. We'll provide one-on-one consultation to resolve identity related issues with an unlimited service guarantee. And we have a team of licensed private investigators at our corporate headquarters that will do whatever it takes and work as long as it takes to restore your identity back to its pre-theft status. As a matter of fact, we even offer a $3 million identity fraud protection plan that covers certain identity fraud expenses and legal costs resulting from a covered identity fraud event. So again, another major issue, another major service where equal justice under law and identity theft, two of the biggest issues we face as a nation today, we're going to take care of them for you. We offer this to an individual for only $19.95 a month, and our family plan is only $34.95 a month. So again, there to help you. Let's go out to Regional Vice President, Mr. Chris Ward, and let Chris share a story about identity theft and how he's used our plan. Chris?
Yep.
You're good. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, the challenge was I'm trying to here. It's not letting me do it. All right, I'll figure this out. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hear you just fine.
Chris Ward out of Golden, Colorado. My brother actually shared LegalShield with about 15 years ago, and he's a Marine Corps veteran, was injured in Iraq, so 100% of his education should have been covered. However, into his second semester in school, he was notified by the VA that, or he was notified by the college that he needed to make his tuition payment. Contacted the VA, found out that somebody had gotten a felony and his name was incarcerated in Detroit, Michigan with his contact information. So now the database said my brother was a felon. As already a member of LegalShield, he contacted the assignment licensed investigator who purged his record from the database, and the college sent his school a check and they finished everything in 5 days.
Outstanding, Chris. Great testimonial. I love what we do for people. And that's one of the things Chris talked about initially is I love helping people. The fact that we get paid to help people, I think is one of the most beautiful parts of our business opportunity, because the only way we get paid is when we help somebody have a better quality of life with the services that we share. So let's get back to the presentation. Let's go back to now. Again, the AI overview, because I'm going to talk about money here for a minute. Remember, 48.6% of Americans consider themselves to be broke, and 2/3 say they're living paycheck to paycheck. It's obviously clear that people need more money. So here's what happens with LegalShield. If you're a guest with us today, let me show you how simple this is. If you're a guest with us, somebody invited you to watch this overview. Now, they're not doing the presentations, and they've got somebody else that will be answering questions for you. So in reality, if you decided this made sense to you and you wanted to buy it, they're going to get paid for a presentation they didn't do and questions that they didn't need to answer, because our model is system driven, not knowledge driven. To become a leader, you'll gain knowledge just like you do at work. You didn't know everything on the first day. You went back and forth to work every day. You gain knowledge no different here. But the beautiful thing is you can start spare time or part-time and build this thing. I started working 10 hours a week when I first started, and after 3 months, I was able to go full-time. So let me show you what this looks like. Remember, our preferred plan is $37.95. Our LegalShield is $34.95. So when you go out and somebody enrolls in this plan, in our compensation where it says your level, we have titles just like you do at work. And obviously, the bigger your title, the more money you get paid when you enroll a member. We all start at the associate level, just like I did, just like Chris did, just like Carmen did. And so when you start out at the associate level, when they buy a plan, you're going to get paid an advance commission of $80, which means you're going to get paid more than the member pays for the service. Because our founder, he wants to pay advance commissions because he wants to put as much money in your hands, and he wants to do that as fast as he can, which is why we pay commissions daily, Monday through Friday. So today is Saturday. So if you enrolled a customer today, it would process Monday night, because we're not open on Saturday and Sunday. It would process Monday night, and Tuesday morning, there would be a direct deposit to your bank for your commission of $80. Once you advance to the first level, senior associate, you get a 25% raise to $100. Now, you can't go back. It's not one of these things where you have to do something every month to keep your level or anything like that. When you hit senior associate, you'll never go back to an associate, but you get paid more money, $100 every time you enroll a member instead of 80. Now, if you get to senior associate in the first 20 days, the company is going to incentivize you by saying, hey, if you'll do that, we'll give you a $200 bonus. What does it take to get to senior associate? You enroll 3 customers and recruit one of them in your business, or enroll 5 customers. Whichever one happens first, you're a senior associate. You get a raise no matter what time length you do it in. If you do it in the first 20 days, you'll get a $200 bonus. When you hit manager, you get $132 commission. You can't go back to senior associate. And if you do that during the first 45 days, you'll get a $500 bonus. Now, listen, some people don't earn the bonuses because they don't do it, but we're always going to have more money available to you for moving quicker. There's no quotas or time commitments there, just whenever you do it. But if you do it quicker, we'll do it. We had a couple out of Alaska on our team that did all that in 16 days and had already earned $700 in bonus. Now, as you go up the commission scale, you see that you make more and more money, even to our qualifying levels of senior director and executive director. But let me show you what this looks like. If you're an entry-level associate, you get $80. Let's say you enroll about 1 member a week, you'd make an extra $400 a month. Would $4,800 and almost $5,000 this year have value to you? Could you take a vacation with your family on that? Whatever the case might be, you'd have an extra $400. But as soon as you hit senior associate, you might be saying, hey, this is fun. If I could enroll a couple of members a week at $100, that's $1,000 extra a month. If you're a manager, it's $1,320. Senior manager, $1,780. Director, $2,460. So ladies and gentlemen, the higher you go, the more money you get paid. My first month, I made $700. My second month, I made $2,800. And my third month, I made $4,100. And I was just a director in the company. And I was part-time working 10 hours a week. I decided to go full-time after I went to the company's convention. And that's when I hit those senior director and executive director levels. And after 9 months in the company, my income went over $10,000 a month because of the executive director bonus levels. Now, let me show you, that's all based on what you do, right? It's just like a job. You control your income. You don't have to wait for your boss to say you get a raise. You just get a raise because of what you earn, right? Now, if you build a team, then you can get team overrides. Watch what happens. Let's say you're a manager. You enroll a customer. As a manager, you would get paid $132 advance commission from the membership. Let's say your member says, hey, I know people that could use this. I want to make some extra money. I'll join your business. They're going to start out as an associate, just like you did, just like I did. When they go out and enroll a customer, they're going to get their full commission. You don't get any of their money. They're going to get their full $80, but the company is then going to pay you the difference between your commission level of manager and theirs as associate, which is $52. So $52 gets dropped into your bank account for the work that they did, even though they got full commission. I don't know of anything else you could do to make it better. And remember, we get paid daily. Let me give you an example of what this might look like. Here's a compensation example. Let's say you're an executive director and you've got a senior manager team. And in that team, not one person, but in that team, there's 25 memberships produced in a calendar month. So the executive director override between executive director and senior manager is $238. You'd get that on 25 new members, which is $5,950 to you. That's why my 9th month, my income went over $10,000 because I hit executive director. But what if you had 4 senior manager teams? Do the math again, it's $23,800. That's life-changing money that most people will never make in a job, and you're in control of what happens with it. Matter of fact, I want you to hear from one of my favorites. This young lady is a 6-figure income earner, LegalShield. She's a legend herself. Ms. Garcia, Cheryl, out to you, please, ma'am.
Thank you, Larry. Mr. Smith, a legend. I've never been called a legend before.
You're a legend to me.
Oh, thank you. Well, I was part of that 66% that was living paycheck to paycheck. My background is I worked in higher education for 16 years. So I was working 50 to 60 hours at the community college. I was teaching at the university, and I still was looking for an extra $500 a month. One of my coworkers said, "Hey, you need to talk to my wife about this opportunity." And at the time, we only had the legal plan. So I went to an overview just like this. And I was like, I have a degree in social work. And I was like, I can help people and make money. Great. So I became an associate. And then, like I said, I was just looking for $500 extra a month. And so I started doing that, sharing it with my friends, sharing it with my family, because like nobody had a will in place. So I was helping them with that. And one fall, I was driving to Grand Junction, and Mr. Smith, I was listening to your tape, cassette tape at that time, in my car about your presentation, because I was going to Grand Junction to do an employee benefit overview. And so after that quarter, that fourth quarter, I made more money that fourth quarter than I had made in the whole year working at the community college. And I said, hey, it's time to go from part-time to full-time. And so now I'm a six-figure ring earner and debt-free. So thank you for your mentorship, Mr. Smith, because those tapes still keep going in my head.
Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate you, and just super proud of you and the success that you've had in the company, and love to watch that continuing to happen. Okay, let's get back to our final part of the overview, and then we'll move forward here. So we love to make money. We love to help people, but we love to have fun too. We have this program called Performance Club, where you can enroll 3 to 4 families a month. You can earn monthly bonuses up to $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year, extra money for doing what you'd want to be doing anyway. You can also qualify for all expense paid trips. And by the way, we don't take the top 5 or 10 people. Matter of fact, we came back from Jamaica this last summer, and we took almost 1,000 people on a vacation, all expenses paid, airfare, resort fees, drinks, food, you name it. It was all taken care of by LegalShield. All you have to do is qualify, and plus you can earn a matching bonus as a senior director. And on new associates, when they get their 3 to 11th, then they get a check of $200. You get $200 as well for helping them do that. There's so many ways to make money that you won't believe it. As a matter of fact, I want to go out. I don't know why I keep pushing that video thing. I want to go out and have Melody Montano share with us, because she was on our last trip, how much fun she had on our Performance Club trip. Melody, out to you, young lady.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Smith. So I went to Jamaica in July. I've been in the business. This is my 43rd month. And honestly, with Performance Club, I mean, my first year went to Maui, the next year went to Puerto Vallarta, and then here again when we went to Jamaica, and all expense paid. You don't have to worry about it. You and whoever you want to bring with you. And it's an amazing time. You could just relax. You don't have to worry about anything. And all we're doing is working our business. I also come from healthcare and education. They never paid me to go on an all expense paid vacation. And this has been a blessing, a true blessing in my life. Totally love it.
Sounds great, Melody. Congratulations on your success. Love to watch people get to take these free trips, man. They're so fun to be able to do that. Okay, let's wrap this up and finalize what we're talking about here. So and at the end of all this, what is this really all about? Well, we call it the wheel of opportunity. Up at the top of the wheel, you'll see LegalShield and LegalShield. That's the services we provide. If you look, it says small business. We have small business legal plans that give as much value and protection to a business owner as we do as the one I shared for your family, right? We have employee group benefit plans. Miss Garcia is a master in the employee group benefit arena. She doesn't just enroll members individually. She goes to companies, as you heard her talking about, where she'll enroll multiple members in a group environment. And remember, the commission is paid per member, not per visit, right? So she gets in front of a lot of people at one time. She make a lot of money that way. We have a commercial driver legal plan. We have legal plan supplements. Like I live on a 25-acre farm that we bought in Texas, and I have guns. So I have a gun owner supplement in my supplements, to where if I squeeze off around at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to be worried about it because I have access. If you drive Uber or Lyft, we have rideshare supplements. So again, get back to the person who invited you. The opportunity for you is simply referring other people to us. We'll do the work. We'll take care of the member. The company will take care of you, and everybody wins. And that's the beauty of this whole process. So what's it all about? It's about becoming an independent associate with our company. You start part-time, you work from anywhere, and you have a willable book of business. If I die today, the company doesn't take my book of business back. My wife gets my book of business. And when she passes, it goes in our legacy, in our estate, to our children and grandchildren. And I read in a good book that a good man will leave an inheritance for his children's children. I can't think of a better way to do that than helping others. Plus, we get residual income for the lifetime of the membership. Listen, this is the coolest thing in the world. I'm sitting here. I haven't worked our business for 3 years. I haven't enrolled members. I haven't recruited people. I'm living my life on the farm. I'm living the dream that I was told I could achieve. But every month I keep getting paid because I get paid on all the new business that's being written and the business that was written all the way back in the 1990s. Our chief financial officer stood at our convention and said, Larry Smith's got over $10 million in his book of business, and he's still getting paid on memberships written in the 90s because we enroll the member one time and you get paid month after month, year after year for the lifetime of that membership after the advanced commission. We're going to put you into an online fast start training class, which will help you get started properly. We'll have ongoing weekly training. We're going to align you with a personal mentor. And a lot of people says, okay, how much does it cost to start the business? It's a one-time registration of only $49. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't fill up my truck for $49. I can't take my wife to dinner for $49. It's a one-time expense. And then month after month, year after year, beginning the second month, you're going to pay our company $24.95, what we call LegalShield Advantage Plus, which is really your monthly overhead for being a business owner. Why? Because as soon as you pay the $49, we're going to set up your website. We're going to give you electronic brochures that you can email or text. We're going to give you videos that you can send to people that will do what I'm doing now. We're going to give you your commissions paid daily. We're going to give you a genealogy where you can see everybody in your team and how much business they're writing. In other words, we're going to create everything for you so you don't have to create anything. All you have to do is invite people to look at the information, let them get their questions answered by somebody else, and then let them make an informed decision. And when they buy, you get paid. That is the simplicity of what a system-driven business does. It only takes about 3 minutes to get enrolled. So it's what we call it simple as 1, 2, 3. Enroll in the membership, get your family protected, become a marketing associate. And if you want to really take advantage of that $200 bonus real quick, fast start qualifying your first 20 days, and we'll do that. So here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you a quick story, and then I'm going to give it back to Mr. Ward. When I was in my 5th year with the company, I started in 1996. In 2001, I took my kids, who were 14 and 12 at the time, on this beautiful vacation to Marco Island, Florida. We did everything. I had a place right on the beach with 10-foot glass windows. We went parasailing. We played golf. We were sitting out in the ocean catching starfish with our hands. I mean, we were just having a ball. Went to all the restaurants on the beach, singing karaoke at night. And my daughter, when she was 12, she's always followed my financial education, right? She's always studied everything I keep telling her. She keeps going after. Today, she's 37. She could write a check and pay off her house right now. I mean, she's just done a magnificent job of following that. But she was 12 on this vacation. And on the way home on the plane, she said, Dad, what did this vacation cost? And I said, honey, it's not important. She said, I know, but just tell me. And I said, baby, you don't really need. She said, Dad, come on. She's as persistent as I am. She said, Dad, tell me. And I said, $6,000. She said, well, I know you get paid every day in LegalShield because I see you writing the number down. How much did you make? And I said, it's not important. She kept bugging me, and I said, $10,000. She said, Dad, wait a minute. She's 12 years old. She says, we go on a week-long vacation. You spent $6,000 and you got paid $10,000 and you didn't work. Is that correct? And I said, I guess looking at it that way, yes, it is. And she said, Dad, what are we going home for? She's 12, right? So if she can get it, maybe you can too. Mr. Ward, thanks for letting me do this overview. I appreciate it. And I'll turn it back over to you, sir.
But without further ado, as I mentioned, author of best-selling book, Dare to Be Rich. He is a gentleman that has worked behind the scenes with our home office for decades before our recent retirement. He's one of the architects behind our compensation plan. He, as a Platinum World Council member, has been in a lot of the decision-making, you know, what I call the war room, where he's helped navigate the LegalShield ship, and he's always had the associate base best hearts in mind. So whatever decision or any input that he's had is to make sure that all of us benefit. He's a true servant leader and an incredible friend. I'd like to turn it over for an incredible training. I hope everybody's ready for Mr. Larry Smith. Take it away, sir.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. Listen, congratulations to all of you on the great recognition. Carmen and I were talking before the event, and I always said it's my favorite part of the Super Saturday is recognition, because you get to really, I remember when I first started and didn't know anything about anything. And, you know, the minute I got that first promotion, it was like, to me, that was like, wow, I got my first promotion. And I know how good that feels to all of you who are getting promoted from associate to senior associate and to manager and beyond. So super congratulations to all of you, and congratulations to our Performance Club qualifiers. Like Chris said, I think that's probably the most important thing in our whole company. I mean, it's the longest running incentive we've had in the history of LegalShield. We started Performance Club in August of 2001. So that's the longest running incentive we ever had. And again, you can earn up to $500 a month for your personal membership enrollments. You can earn up to $500 a month. But if you build a team, you can get matching bonuses from all of your associates in month 3 through 11. So as they get $200 a month, you get $200 a month to match them. And when you start getting 4-figure bonus checks because of something as simple as Performance Club, you realize this. Performance Club, when you can earn free vacations for you and your spouse or a guest, let me reclassify that. When you can earn a vacation for yourself and someone else. If I say, sometimes I say you can earn it for you, your spouse, or a guest. I'd recommend if you're married, don't take a guest, take your spouse. But anyway, to me, that is the foundation of everything we do, because every month the person is qualified for Performance Club, starting with month 3, they start getting a monthly bonus check for doing that. And that is their incentive to create consistency. In my 28 years of the company, I have never been a top producer. I can guarantee I haven't written as many memberships as Cheryl Garcia has. I can certainly tell you I haven't written anywhere near as many memberships as Mindy and Mike Rogers have, but they're all a part of my team. I probably haven't written as many memberships as Jeff and Diane Craig have, right? But they're part of my team, and I get paid on all the memberships they write. So I'm going, go team, go, right? So I just want you to understand that Performance Club to me says I am consistent, because even though I've never been a top producer or a top recruiter, I've been consistent since day one. And through that consistency compounding over time, it'll create wealth beyond your wildest dreams. I'm going to talk about a few different things during this training. The last part of this training, I am going to talk about financial education and wealth creation, because I just want, you know, when I started with LegalShield, listen, in 1996, when I joined, the cost to join was $49. Here we are this many years later, and it's still $49. Nothing like that you'll ever see, but we're still the same price today that we were when I started in 1996. We didn't have websites. We didn't have any tools. We had black and white brochures when I started, and you had to literally sit down and explain all this to people. So you had to kind of learn how to do a presentation and all this stuff before you could ever make any money. Today, because of technology, we've just made it system dependent, where it's so simple, not easy, because if you don't do the work, you don't get paid, but it's simple, right? And so I want you to understand, I'm going to talk about, you know, where we are now, how do we get here, and what should we do about it, right? And when I talk about what we should do about it, I'm going to talk about money as part of that, not all of it, but part of it. And I ask that you all allow me to, because I wrote a $49 hot check when I joined LegalShield in 1996. I literally did not have $49 to my name. And I had worked 20 years in corporate jobs, and my last job, I was earning 6 figures a year. But my home was in Phoenix. My office was in Southern California. So I had we'll call it an Airbnb in California, and my home in Phoenix. And every Friday night I'd fly home and I'd spend Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night at home, fly back Monday morning. So even though I was earning 6 figures a year, I was just broke at a higher level. And every time I got a raise, because I had no financial education, I had nicer things, nicer stuff, nicer cars, nicer homes, but I was still broke at a higher level. And so now I want you to really understand, I'm going to share that with you towards the end, because I want to help give you some tips to help get you on the right track financially if you're not already there, because I love sharing that information. That's my most passionate part. So let me share my screen here, and we'll get started with this training. So the first question is, why are we here? Why are we here and where we are today? Well, listen, when we were kids, we had dreams, right? I had dreams. You know, I bet you if I asked any one of you when you were a kid, what was your dream? What were you going to grow up to be? And how many of you today are actually doing what you dreamed about as a kid? Well, there's a reason that it's not. See, when I was in military boarding school, I had 5 fathers growing up. They were all alcoholics. I got physically abused like crazy. My grandmother put me in a military boarding school. I'm the short guy on the right. And my wife found this in one of my shoe boxes over years ago. And it says, hoping to become millionaires, Larry Smith and John Blaylock show off the money they've earned shining shoes, which I guess even at 13, I was entrepreneurial, right? And I wanted to become a millionaire, even though I didn't know what a millionaire was back then. But the school did, and they said, hoping to become millionaires. I wish today I knew where all those people were, because I'd love to share this story with them. But we had dreams as kids, right? But what happened to those dreams? I call it the evolution of a belief system. Watch this. Parents, teachers, coaches, clergy, friends, relatives, and other people of influence say to us as children, this is fact. Now, because, wait a minute, sorry about that. What's going on here? Don't let mine freeze up. Hang on, gang. We're having all kinds of stuff here go on. If I get disconnected, Craig, just hang on and I'll be right back. Can you hear me still, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hang on. My screen's freezing up for some reason. Oh, this is great. Okay, just hang on, gang. Chris, I'm gonna probably just shut down and reboot. I'm out in the guest house out on my property. So
All right. I guess we lost it. So I found this is why I prefer in person over going into Zooms. But guess what? You know, we still adapt. He'll be back here in a little bit. So let's go through. I want to let you know just for what's coming up. One of the announcements that I'll just cover now, it's not going to be a big play, but we've got some stick around, everybody. Do not go anywhere. Because we have a special guest coming up. But one of our special announcements I'm going to go to right now. This is fun trying to do this on 2 computers. See, my camera is not working on my other computer. So one of the things that I've heard from several associates over the last few days is that they don't have, look at that. What are the Super Saturday dates for this year? See, did you know I was going to go to this? Is that why you asked that question? All right. So I want to let you know is that one thing that we've done this year that we have never done in LegalShield history is provide you with a 12-month training calendar. So this is available for all of the associates. Just go to bit.ly/Grow Colorado 2025, and you can download the training calendar, which will outline the Super Saturday dates for the entire year. But it's not just Super Saturday. We also have the advanced product training that's back on the calendar. We're going to talk a little bit more about the next one when we get into announcements. And so make sure you download this. All new associates are going to have this link is going to go out to them in an email from me, welcoming them not just to LegalShield, but to the Colorado Associates of LegalShield. And this is only for Colorado. So it doesn't make sense to share this with associates outside of the state because this is focused in there. Our full service training, the small business, small group trainings will be added to this calendar. So it is a working document since we don't have those 12 months, but we do have the next one that we're going to be announcing once we get into those announcements. So I want to make sure everybody downloads the training calendar so that they can plan their travel. So that's what I've had to do is look at when I have windows of time that I can travel so as to not interfere with this. But there's also special training. So not just advanced product training, but there's also sales master classes that are available here as well. So we have undeniably, oh, and then the last and most important, our dates for our international conventions are also in this training calendar. So we have a wealth of training opportunities that are available. Not to even mention when you go into ellisengage.com and you click on training, there is the recruiting training, there's small business training, there's group training. Not knowing how to do build a LegalShield business should never be an excuse. And also not knowing when the next training coming up should not be an excuse. So make sure you download a copy of this. If you want to print it out, by all means. It's a little bit lengthy. It's costly to kind of print out, but I want you to have that available for you and your new team members so that you know each and every training opportunity that's available in 2025. And this was really Carmen Ball's brain trust was what we were looking at, creating this training calendar as the same way as that you would grow a garden. And so each episode or each month, we're going to have featured training that corresponds with a different thing. So we have different themes going on. You know what I'm going to do? I think I might be able to click on this from here. See, I love technology. So I'm just going to show you what this looks like. So I don't have to talk about it. So as you can see, we have not just the dates, but also the description of each event and the links. So you can see right here for our January 18th Sales Masterclass, which is taking place right now. Chatwiththepros.com, that's virtual only with the description. We have our next small business, small group certification course with the description. This is in-person only. We're going to go through this a little bit more in the future. But as you can see, there's a theme to each event. So look at February 8th. So mastering the presentation. So not only are you going to know when the Super Saturday event is, but you're also going to learn about what you're going to be learning at those events. So everybody will have kind of an idea. And we're also going to have key activities that take place in person, online. I know Miss Carmen Ball has led some people where they've been out in the streets just handing out physical tools to individuals. As part of this was the massive, what's the word I'm looking for? Exposures, going out and planting seeds. So making sure that everybody knows about LegalShield. And so Carmen Ball has really led the way in helping hit the ground, sharing information about LegalShield in that regard. Do we have Mr. Smith back yet? He dove in. I hate to go into.
Chris, he just texted and said that Zoom kicked him off and had to do an update.
Oh,
So he said he'll be back in a few minutes.
today is not a good day to be on Zoom. I was just texting Carmen. I was like, I need a cocktail after all this. Oh, wait, is everybody on Zoom? Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Sorry about that. Well, we do not provide cocktails, but if you bring me
No.
one, it will be accepted. I'm actually doing a dry January, so I'm not drinking any alcohol this month.
Oh, sorry.
31
No good
days.
for you.
I don't know how many hours that is. I didn't even drink champagne into the new year. Antonio's doing dry January as well. All right, Antonia, it's you and I. We are sober
Hey,
this month.
Chris, I
Yeah.
had some people in the chat that said that they were new and I need addresses. So those of you who put in there that you were new if you could, I put my phone number in there. If you could please text me your address, please. And thank you.
So Antonia, we need your mailing address. Gary Thomas is an existing associate, so he's not. And then Roxanne Smith. Everybody get their new associates in Colorado over to Carmen Ball. That way you get your brand new Fast Start Companion Guide. How did this wear that? Now, this isn't just your traditional companion. For one, the home office is now just doing, I wouldn't text your mailing address and phone numbers to everyone. Carmen will do that. But if you could just share it in a private message to Carmen, because you might have a prankster on here that ends up sending you magazines of the adult variety. That's just me.
Hey, Chris, Larry said unmute him.
Oh, he is back. I see you, sir. Make you a co-host. All right, everybody. Hope you had your
Okay, can you hear me?
All right, sir.
Can you hear
Welcome
me?
back.
Okay, good. Oh yeah, thanks. Sorry about that, gang. That's what happens when you live on a farm. You can't